everyone. Thank you for your patience. We have a little bit of difficulty with our technology tonight. Our guest speaker is Josh Freemyer. Josh was on, and something happened to his computer, so he's trying to get back on. So Kat's trying to help him from the backside. So while they're doing that, let's get some of the information you need to hear. First, DE is next weekend, next Thursday. DE in Clearwater Beach, Florida. If you haven't registered, please do so ASAP. If you need a hotel room, Kat thinks she can still finagle a couple more hotel rooms. So again, DE next Thursday in Clearwater Beach in April. Clearwater Beach, probably going to be absolutely one of the most beautiful places on the planet. So come join us. Again, the next two DEs are going to be after this one, or the next two DEs are going to be in Atlanta. We got the July 18th to the 21st, and then the October is the 60th anniversary of the first DE. 60 years DE's been rolling. Going to have a big party and going to have a big anniversary salute. So please make sure on the 60th that maybe you just grab a friend that you went to DE years ago, or maybe they've never been to DE, never heard of it, but bring friends to that one. And you'll need to get tickets to that because I'm sure the gala will sell out relatively fast. So let's go back to this upcoming DE. They said the party theme is Hollywood Glam. So a Hollywood Glam party. I was just asking Kat, I have no idea what that is. She said, well, you just like you're going to roll out the red carpet, get all dressed up like you're going down the red carpet, or maybe you have a favorite character of a movie. Just dress up as that favorite character of that movie, or maybe you've been told you look like some superstar or movie star, and so therefore you dress up like that, your favorite movie star. Whatever it is, it's there to have fun. Just come and celebrate Saturday night after the best speaker of the entire conference finishes. We're going right to the party. I'll tell you who that is later, but. Hopefully Josh is ready, and I'll give you the intro to Josh, and hopefully he gets in. If not, I'll keep stalling some time here. I really appreciate your patience with us. But Josh is a graduate of Palmer, Florida from 2012. I couldn't believe when he told me in 2012, because I remember Josh when he was a student. I remember him having babies when he was in school, coming to DE and breaking it down when I first started coming. And he's been in practice now since 2012 in Winter Garden, Florida, which is basically the Orlando area. And in his time, he's got a great practice, got 4 kids, and he's taking the time to give back to the FCS. He's the vice president of the FCS. So I'll bet you a nickel that someday he'll be the president of FCS. Probably one of the strongest state associations in chiropractic. And so we really appreciate Josh's time. And even if we can't get him in to where you see his beautiful face, maybe tonight he has the face of a radio star. I'm not sure. But I'm just going to keep going until Josh kicks in. So again, for me, DE is so important to come for everybody to get to. I know for our practice, I'm bringing my 2 associates because we need it. We need DE right now. And I just on a personal note, I want you all to remember to keep Scott Lowe, my associate of over 26 years, in your prayers, because Scott is struggling with cancer, as most of you know, and unfortunately he's on hospice care right now, and he's not doing well. So he needs all the prayers you can muster for Scott. And in our practice, we have a young man who his name's Tyler Rose, and many of you met Tyler. He came to DE1 as a student, and I'm going to stop my talk because there's the man. There's Josh. Josh, take over, brother.
Hey, Andy. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, guys. Thanks for your patience with me. Had some issues with the computer tonight, but it's a great evening here in Florida, and thanks for having me. It's really an honor to be able to share with you guys tonight. And for those of you who don't know me, I practice here in Winter Garden, Florida. I'm excited to be able to serve the people here in Central Florida. I'm blessed by my wife, Jenny, and we have 4 kids, 1 in high school, so it's really crazy. When I started going to DE, my son had just been born, and so it's amazing to see how he's grown in all these years. But I found my passion for chiropractic when I first attended DE. I was about halfway through chiropractic school and was trying to figure out what was going on. And that passion for chiropractic came from my first DE and been coming ever since. And so super excited to be sharing with you guys. Um, One of the amazing things, is being part of this community in DE and getting to walk with so many people through this crazy thing we call life. Um, so living here in Florida, it's so great because of how beautiful the weather is. A lot of people tend to agree with us people here in Florida, and that's why DE comes to Florida a couple times a year because everybody loves the weather. And there all just seems to be life all around. And so for some reason this year, I had an issue with some of that life around my house, and my lawn had some huge areas that started having um, holes in it, and it looked like it was sick and began to wither. And as the fall kind of went on, it got worse. And so when we live here in Florida, most of us are blessed in the areas we live to have amazing homeowners associations. And so those homeowners associations, they love and they know exactly when to send you a letter to make you do something that you were just realizing you needed to do. And so when I was realizing I had a problem with my lawn, they decided to send me a letter and threaten me to get it fixed. And so those dead spots in my lawn, I called and just decided I needed to pay the big bucks to have somebody help me with it. But little did I realize how much help I was actually looking after until after DE in January. Whenever DE happens, there seems to be these themes that come out of the weekend, and many of the talks all kind of weave together, and we find that these amazing common strings seem to run through so many lives and all the people connected in this group. And so it's pretty amazing. For years, I've been coming to DE and looking for ways to get better at serving people in our practice and for ways to connect with more and more incredible chiropractors. And the passion for chiropractic that was stoked in the very beginning of my coming to DE. But this past DE was really a little bit different for me because I began to realize in so many ways and how so many people talk about these shedding of husks. It didn't really make sense to me. I was always kind of somebody who was like, okay, I don't understand this. But I realized this actually the day I got home from DE. And part of the theme that stuck out to me from DE this last time in January was said very well, and it came down to choices. Justin Quayle said in his talk, what have you, whatever you have going on in your life right now is simply an expression of your choices. Right. And so I started thinking about how the choices and what was going on in my life was affecting everything around me and my practice and my patients, my family, and started thinking about choices. What is, have you ever been told to make the right choice? What is the right choice? How do we know what the right choice is and which choice to make? But many times we make choices because we're looking for a result. We're looking to get whatever result we want. But when we start looking at what we want, many times we don't really understand that. And so it becomes difficult to make choices because we're not clear on where we're going and what we want. And so many times our choices, whether to do something or not to do something, become based in fear, right? Disappointment or bitterness, right? Pain may influence how we make choices. Our past. Is there going to be pleasure in it? Are we going to get what we want out of it? Or is it keeping me from the comfort that I want? Or is the process going to take too long? It's really hard when we start looking at all these things in our lives that affect how we make choices. Loss is a huge one. We suffered a lot of loss after DE this last year, and had a patient that I had taken care of since she was a young teenager in middle school pass away as a young 20s. And just some of the choices that happened in life began to resound and just come up over and over in how we were doing things. And so loss is a tough one. And I know loss affects how many of us make choices. And so this is kind of where we get back to that front lawn, right? I called this guy, Miguel, out to give me a quote on fixing the lawn. And he said, because of the extent of the damage here in the lawn, we need to replace the entire lawn, except for a few little sections that may be able to be revived. But then he said, you have to spray the whole thing with some killer, grass killer, plant killer, and we'll let it sit for 10 to 14 days for everything to die. Now, I've done a lot of yard work, grew up in a farming area, and so, no slouch to hard work. But when I asked him, I was like, why can't we just rip the old stuff up and put the new stuff down? I know you have sod cutters. I know you have machines for this. Why don't we just get this thing done? I don't need to wait 2 weeks and have the HOA get mad at me even more and send me another letter. But Miguel was very patient with me because I obviously didn't understand what was going on. And so he said, you see, you have this St. Augustine lawn. It's beautiful kind of grass. But from some neglect of yours, as well as some fault not of yours, the lawn's not doing well. And you have this Bermuda grass that's mixed in with your beautiful St. Augustine. And he said, this Bermuda grass, what's interesting about it is, besides not being as beautiful as St. Augustine, it has these roots that go down more than 18 inches into the soil. So if we simply bring the sod cutter in and take out the old grass and replace it with new grass, within a couple of weeks, you're going to have this Bermuda filling your St. Augustine and starting to choke it out again. Right? And he said, when things are sown this deep into the soil, you can't see it, but you have to kill them through the leaves. Right? Because if you cut them off, the roots are still there and they'll still grow. We have to wait and give time for those roots to die. And so, it brought me back to another thing that Justin said in D. And he said, a man will only reap what he sows. Sowing takes work. What are you sowing daily in your life? Distractions, or what is actually serving you? Right? And so we have tons of reasons we can make choices or avoid making choices. Some are sown so deep that we can't even see the best solution. People look at me and, Andy said, oh, he's the president or the vice president of the FCS, probably be the next president. And the reality is, a lot of my life, I've just been able to flip a switch, go all in, whether it's changing the way I eat, whether it's in the middle of a workout and just being able to flip a switch and just continue to go. That's been the way I've done things. But how and why did I do that? Until it was explained to me with this grass, it didn't make sense, right? It's amazing that, I've been blessed throughout my life to be able to have a foundation and really be cultivated with fertile soil, right? The choices to be made have to be grounded in fertile soil where the roots have, those dirty roots have been taken up, right? We've cleaned up the soil and there's nothing left but the nutrients to grow fresh grass. And so I encourage everybody tonight, shed some of those husks. As we get into DE in the next couple of weeks here, get down to that fertile soil. It's there. Our lives have it, and we just have to weed out those things that are deeply sown into our lives that are not taking us where we need to be. Find your purpose in chiropractic. It's really been hard throughout these years of coming to D for me to learn how to become the chiropractor I was created to be. Many times when we come to DE, we see the other doctors, we see the practices that people have, the things people have, and all the different parts that go along with that. But what I love about DE and I love about this community of people is it allows us to get down to the basics and really look at our lives and not look at what we can do just in our practice, but look at ourselves. Because this whole thing becomes a lot more fun when we're becoming and being the chiropractor that God designed us to be. And we're able to make those choices in our lives clearly by cleaning ourselves up, getting rid of those husks, getting rid of those things that are so deeply rooted in us that keep us from doing all that God wants us to do and all He has us to do. And so, those were the thoughts and the things that crossed my mind as DE was happening last year and the couple weeks after, and through loss and through struggle as we all have between these DEs and between every day of our life. But I appreciate you guys being here with me tonight and just encourage you. Allow yourself to open up and really be the person you are and be the chiropractor that God designed you to be.
Dude, that was beautiful. Thank you. To be what DE is to become aware, humble, and obedient to the will of God within you. And sometimes we have to open our heart and open our head to say, okay, what is blocking me? What's deeply rooted within me? And you really can't get rid of it until you accept the fact and acknowledge the fact what is deeply rooted that's blocking us. That was a beautiful metaphor. It was awesome.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Great job, brother. I mean, it was worth the wait. I promise you that.
Thank you. Thanks for waiting on me.
Absolutely. Okay, everybody, listen. 2 weeks from a week from this Thursday, we'll meet everybody, be hugging on each other, and make sure you get registered and whatever your glam is, get ready for it because it's going to be a party. And thank you, Josh, for being here. Really appreciate it. Thank you, Kat, for doing all the technology behind the scenes. Love you all. Talk to you in 9 days. Love y'all.
All right.